Hey guys, it's Alex. Today we're doing something a little different. I want to ask you, do you believe that with just $9 a day, life can still feel complete in a very different way? No, I'm not talking about luxury meals or expensive apartments, but simple things. The kind of things that actually matter, like a warm home-cooked meal, a quiet place to stay, and a day that passes without pressure. Seriously, what would your day look like if that was all you needed? When your spending is reduced, you begin to see more clearly what is truly necessary and what only drains your energy. It's not about deprivation, but discovering what you actually need to feel happy and fulfilled. So, I set out to find out what life looks like on just $9 a day in 5 different countries. We're talking about the basics: food, rent, internet, even a little leisure time. Nothing fancy, just real, simple living. So, let's dive in. I'll take you through Vietnam, India, Cambodia, Bolivia, and Indonesia, exploring what a day on $9 really means in each of these incredible places. As always, I'm using music from YouTube Studio to keep things chill, and if you've got timing suggestions for how long you think each segment should be, drop them in the comments. And don't worry, no AI stock footage here, just real stories and real numbers as always. Let's get into it. Picture this, waking up in a small but clean room in Ho Chi Minh City. It's not a luxury condo, but it's your own space, with a bed, a fan, and reliable Wi-Fi. Rent in the city's outer districts can be as low as $120 to $150 a month. That's about $4 to $5 a day. Not bad, right? It's quiet, safe, and you've got just what you need to start your day. Breakfast is a bowl of steaming pho at a street stall, just $1.50. And honestly, it's better than most $15 bowls I've had in the States. You sit on a tiny plastic stool, watching the city wake up. The hustle is all around you, but you're not in a rush. When you live simply, you actually have time to enjoy these moments. Getting around is easy and cheap. A motorbike ride across town costs less than 50 cents. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you rent a bicycle for pennies. The city's energy is contagious, but when you're not scrambling for the next dollar, it feels different. Lighter somehow. Lunch is a banh mi sandwich, loaded with fresh veggies and savory meat, for about $1.25. You eat outside, maybe in a park, and you realize this is what matters. Not eating at the fanciest restaurant, but enjoying fresh food that's made with care. Internet cafes are everywhere and super affordable. For about 50 cents per hour, you can work, stream, or catch up on emails. If you need your own connection, mobile data plans start at $3 a month, lightning fast too. In the afternoon, you might wander through a local market. Even if you're on a tight budget, it's fun just to look. Maybe you grab some fruit, mangoes, dragon fruit, or lychees. $1 goes a long way here, and it's enough for a nutritious snack. Dinner is a simple home-cooked meal. With a small kitchen, rice, veggies, and a bit of meat from the market, you can prepare a filling meal for under $2. You sit on your balcony, maybe with a friend, maybe just with your thoughts, and watch the city lights come on. Entertainment? It doesn't have to cost much. Public parks are full of life, people dancing, playing badminton, or just hanging out. You join in, or just walk, enjoying that sense of community. It's free, and it's fulfilling. At night, you wind down with a book or a movie streamed online. You're not worried about tomorrow's bills. There's a sense of peace that comes from knowing your needs are met without overspending. Living on $9 a day here is not about sacrifice. It's about realizing how little you actually need to be content. The simplicity isn't just affordable, it's freeing. So, that's a day in Vietnam. Would you try it? Let me know in the comments. Now let's head to our next destination, India. Imagine waking up in a guest house in the heart of Jaipur, or maybe a quiet corner of Goa. Rent here can be shockingly low, shared rooms for $3 to $5 a night, or if you're staying longer, you might pay $100 a month. It's basic, but it's peaceful. You've got a bed, a fan, and a window looking out onto bustling streets. Breakfast is a plate of poha, or a couple of samosas from a street vendor. For less than 50 cents, you're eating something fresh and flavorful. You sit on the curb or a bench nearby, sipping hot chai for 20 cents. There's a rhythm to mornings here that just feels right. Getting around is cheap, too. Local buses cost just a few cents per ride. If you're in a city, you can take a rickshaw for under $1 or just explore on foot. The pace is up to you, no pressure to rush. Lunch is a thali, a metal tray loaded with rice, dal, veggies, and flatbread. For about $1.50, you're eating until you're full. There's a sense of abundance, even on a tiny budget. You share a table with strangers and it feels communal. Wi-Fi is everywhere, especially in cafes and guest houses. If you need your own connection, a prepaid SIM card with a gig or two of data costs less than $2. You're connected, but not overwhelmed. In the afternoon, you might visit a temple or just stroll through a local bazaar. The colors, the sounds, the smells, it's sensory overload in the best way. Maybe you buy a piece of fruit or a sweet for a few cents. It's not about spending, it's about experiencing. Dinner is a bowl of curry or a plate of fried rice from a dhaba. Simple, hearty, and less than $1. You eat under the stars, maybe with a cold drink, maybe with new friends. Time slows down, and you realize you're not missing anything important. Entertainment here is almost always free. People gather for music in the park, or you might catch a cricket match. Sometimes, just sitting and watching city life is all you need. At night, you find your way back to your room. There's no TV, maybe just a book, or your phone. The quiet is refreshing. You go to sleep knowing you've spent less than $9 and you haven't missed out on anything that matters. Living this way, you start to understand what you really value. The pressure fades, and life feels fuller, not emptier. That's a day in India. Simple, vibrant, and surprisingly complete. Ready for the next stop? Cambodia awaits. Let's head to Phnom Penh or Siem Reap, where simplicity is the norm and daily costs are refreshingly low. Rent for a small room, often with a private bath and Wi-Fi, can run around $100 to $120 a month. That's just about $3 to $4 a day, leaving plenty for life's other essentials. Breakfast is a bowl of rice porridge or a fresh baguette from a street vendor, just 75 cents, and honestly, surprisingly filling. You eat outside, taking in the morning calm before the city wakes up. The air smells like fresh herbs and coffee. To get around, you can hop on a tuk-tuk for about 75 cents, or rent a bicycle for less. The roads are lively but not chaotic, and there's always something interesting to see along the way. No need to rush. Everything is close and accessible. Lunch might be a plate of lak, beef with rice and veggies, for about $1.50. You eat in a family-run restaurant, where the owners greet you by name. There's no pretense, just good food and friendly faces. Wi-Fi is fast and cheap. Most cafes offer it for free with a drink, or you can get a local SIM for $2 a week. You stay connected, but you're not glued to your screen. Life happens offline here. In the afternoon, you might visit a temple or wander the riverside promenade. Even on a tight budget, there's time to relax, to observe, and to just be. Maybe you buy a coconut for 50 cents and sit in the shade. Dinner is a stir-fry from a night market, cooked right in front of you for about $1. You sit with locals, swapping stories, enjoying a meal that costs less than your morning coffee back home. Entertainment is simple but meaningful. People gather at the river to exercise, dance, or just watch the sunset. You join in, or just take it all in. The pace is slow, and there's comfort in that. At night, your room is quiet and cool. You might spend time reading, journaling, or planning your next day. The pressure to do more, spend more, it's just not there. Living on $9 a day in Cambodia isn't about getting by. It's about finding joy in the basics and contentment in the everyday. So, what do you think? Could you find happiness here? Next, we're off to Bolivia. Now we're in La Paz or maybe Sucre, a place where the Andes meet everyday life. Rent here is modest. A small room in a shared house runs about $100 a month, or just over $3 a day. It's basic but cozy, with a window letting in mountain air. Breakfast is a couple of salteñas, meat-filled pastries bought from a street vendor for about 30 cents each. You eat them on your walk to the local plaza, where the morning sun warms the cobblestones. Transportation is simple and cheap. Minibuses crisscross the city, charging just 20 cents per ride. Or you can walk. Everything is close, and the mountain views are always worth it. Lunch is a set meal at a family restaurant. Soup, a main, and a drink for about $1.50. The food is hearty, the portions generous. You eat surrounded by locals, feeling like you belong. Internet access is easy to find in cafes and hostels, often included with your stay. A prepaid SIM costs about $2 a week. You're connected when you need to be, but there's no pressure to always be online. Afternoons are for wandering. Maybe you visit a museum, which costs $1 or $2, or just explore the markets. The colors and sounds are vibrant, but it's not about shopping, it's about being present. Dinner is simple, a bowl of sopa de mani, or a plate of rice and beans for under $1. You eat at home or a small eatery, grateful for a warm meal and good company. Leisure here is about connection. People gather in the plaza to play music, dance, or just talk. You join in, or simply listen, soaking in the atmosphere. At night, your room is quiet. Maybe you write, call home, or just watch the stars. There's no stress, no rush, just enough. Living on $9 a day in Bolivia is about realizing that enough really is plenty. The essentials are covered and you have space to breathe. Next up, our final stop, Indonesia. Welcome to Indonesia, maybe Bali, maybe Yogyakarta. Rent here can be as low as $100 a month for a room in a simple guest house or homestay. That's $3 a day, and you've got a bed, a shower, and a place to call your own. Breakfast is a plate of nasi goreng, fried rice with egg and veggies for just $1. You eat it outside, in the morning sun, listening to birds and scooters zooming by. It's simple, but it tastes like home. Getting around is easy. You can rent a scooter for $1.50 a day, or take local buses for even less. The freedom to explore is there, and you don't have to spend much. Lunch might be a bowl of soto ayam, chicken soup with rice, for about $1.25. You sit in a warung, a simple roadside cafe, chatting with the owner or other travelers. The atmosphere is relaxed, unhurried. Internet is cheap and reliable. Most guest houses offer free Wi-Fi, or you can buy a data package for $2 a week. You're as connected as you want to be. In the afternoon you might visit a temple or just walk along the beach. Maybe you buy a coconut for 50 cents, sit in the sand, and watch the waves. Life slows down, and you realize how little you need to feel at peace. Dinner is a home-cooked meal, maybe with friends you've met along the way. Rice, veggies, a bit of fish, everything fresh from the market for under $2. You eat on the porch, laughing, sharing stories. Entertainment is everywhere and free. People gather for music, dance, or just to watch the sunset. You join in, or just sit back and enjoy the moment. At night your room is quiet and cool. Maybe you read, listen to music, or just rest. The pressure to do more, have more, it's gone. Living on $9 a day in Indonesia isn't about going without, it's about focusing on what really matters. Good food, good company, and a sense of peace. So, after seeing all this, what do you think? Could you be happy living simply, wherever you are? So, after exploring 5 countries on just $9 a day, what really stands out? It's not the things you go without, but the things you gain: time, clarity, and a genuine sense of peace. A warm meal, a quiet place, a day without pressure. These are the things that matter. And they're more accessible than we might think. Living simply doesn't mean missing out. In fact, it might mean you're finally making space for what's truly important. When you cut out the noise and the excess, you start to see what really brings you joy. It's not the expensive meals or the fancy apartments, but the simple moments, sharing food, walking through a market, watching the sunset with friends. So, I want to hear from you. Could you live on $9 a day? Would you try it, even for a week? Drop your thoughts and timing suggestions in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes less really is more.